Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be doing the Q&A that I let you guys know that I was going to be doing as part of my Preparing for IVF series. Not all of these are IVF related, but a lot of them are. And I just want to start this video by saying that right now emotionally, I'm at like a 15 out of 1 to 10 because I just got like the best news that I can possibly even imagine. You guys have heard me mention that I was going to be going out of town to do an exam, a very hard exam to get certified in the job that I already do, but the certification is very difficult. So this past weekend we went to Springfield, Missouri for the exam, and you guys will see a vlog of that on Friday. It will upload on Friday, scheduled for then. And seriously, the hardest test of my entire life. It was almost 6 hours. And when I left, and you'll see in the video, when I left, I said I didn't pass, and I freaking passed. When I got the email, for one, I was told it was going to be a week to 10 days before I heard back. I took the test on Saturday, and it's only Tuesday. I am just like so shocked, so happy. I honestly would have bet my life on the fact that I failed. It was so difficult. It just wasn't enough time. I followed the tips and I had an answer for everything, but I was so unsure of like a third of my answers. So I am just thanking the Lord right now and praising Him for helping me get through that test, and I'm so happy. So I'm a little bit more upbeat and happy today, and that's why. So yeah, I am just so happy. But without further ado, I just wanted to let you guys know that that's why I'm in such a good mood. And I am wearing my new sweater from Stitch Fix. I love it. It's so comfortable. I would honestly take a sweater like this in every single color that you could get it in. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the questions. So I have some written down that were on YouTube, and then I have some on my phone that were from Instagram. I'm going to answer as many as I could. I think there's about 17 questions, so I'm going to try to not make this video like a 1,000 years long. So the first question that I have is Brenda. She asked, how long have we been trying to conceive, and do I have advice for when to know that it's time to move forward with fertility treatments? Very good question. We've been trying to conceive now for a little over 2 years, about 2 years and 2 months. And as far as my advice for when to know when it's time to move forward, it's definitely a personal preference. I would say that most physicians are going to tell you to try for a year on your own. And after that, it may be time to seek that help. For me personally, going back now, I wish I would have just gone straight to the fertility clinic instead of stopping at OB. That's definitely personal preference though. But for us, we just knew after a year that we weren't getting pregnant and that it was time to go because a year is pretty standard. So I guess really it's personal preference, but honestly, if you aren't pregnant by a year, I would definitely just go in and get checked out. Not saying something's definitely wrong with you, but most likely there is something hindering you from getting pregnant. Mel asked, what is my biggest piece of advice for couples going through infertility? My biggest piece of advice for couples is to not let infertility defeat your marriage. I know that infertility is probably one of the biggest stresses and just biggest like tribulation and trial that a marriage can face. It's very difficult. There's a lot of emotion that goes into it, a lot of stress. It's kind of like finances times like 1,000. I think that finances are the #1 arguments in marriage. I think I heard that somewhere. I could totally be making that up, but I'm pretty sure I heard it somewhere. And I think infertility is 10 times more stressful than finances because sometimes you don't have answers, and a lot of infertility is waiting around for results, and some of the results you just can't change. Like finances, that can be changed. You know, communication, that can be changed. Infertility sometimes cannot be changed at all. So just try not to let it defeat your marriage. Don't let something like infertility ruin a good marriage, a good friendship. You as a person, just don't let it defeat you. Easier said than done, I know, but I do have a video on my tips for dealing with infertility. If you guys are interested, I will link that down below for you. Chantal, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She said, off topic, but I would love to know if I'm still in school and how I budget. So yes, I kind of am in school. I took time off to do a certification course to get certified. Holy crap, I still can't believe that I passed, you guys. I seriously had like a 20-minute long crying session to my mom, because I will tell you guys that because I got married young and had a child young, well, younger, 22. I got married at 21, had Aniston at 22. I took time off of school. There's been a couple semesters that I just haven't gone, and I normally do my classes online because that's what I find is easier for me. So I did take time off, of course, after all that kind of happened, and no matter what, I'm not going to stop going and until I achieve what I want to achieve. But there was a time where I didn't know what I wanted to do. So yes, I am still taking classes, and I took time off to get my certification. Now that I have it, the next semester I would love to continue on getting my classes. And I know I mentioned before that I was going for software engineering, which is what I originally was going for. But because I want to stay in the career that I am now and just kind of make the best I can of it because I love it so much, I have switched my track to health information technology. So yeah, that's what I currently am going. She also asked about how I budget, and just short answer, I don't budget. I know that's absolutely terrible. I mean, I guess I kind of budget because I know what our bills are every month and all that stuff, but I don't actually like write it down, plan it out, because that's just not my thing, I guess. My husband wishes that I would budget a little bit better or more or just at all. And we have talked about kind of ways to budget here and there, but really what I would like to do is work on kind of a savings plan so that there's a set amount of money every 2 weeks or every month being set aside for savings, that we're saving for something. So if I end up doing that, I will bring you guys along on that, but I would love to know your tips for doing a savings plan. Olivia, pretty name, asked, what is my stepdaughter's name and how does she get along with Aniston? My stepdaughter's name is Paige, and her and Aniston get along really well. They are 5 years apart, so Paige is about to be 9, Aniston's about to be 4, and they just play so much. It's so fun to see them interact as siblings, and it makes me kind of wonder how Aniston's going to be once she's the older sister, so I'm really excited to eventually give them another sibling. And yeah, they just get along so well, and I'm just so grateful for their relationship. Hope asked, why did we get married in secret? So she was curious to know why we did that. From my last video, if you guys haven't seen it, where I talk about our infertility journey, I mentioned that my husband and I actually got married in secret a few months before our wedding. Or quite a few months before our wedding. Kind of the reason behind that was just because we wanted to get married and we just didn't want to wait any longer. It sounds so juvenile, but we were just really excited, and we wanted to go ahead and get everything transferred over, like my last name changed. You have to go through kind of all that process when you get married. And we wanted to go ahead and get on the health insurance because we knew that we wanted a baby soon. So we kind of just wanted to get ahead of the game, if you will. So yeah, we just left my work one day, drove down to the courthouse and did it. Rachel asked, when I found that it was my husband's issue, male factor infertility, was there any other option than IUI and IVF? Honestly, they did offer the vitamins, which we took, and it did increase his sperm count. It didn't help his motility really at all, but it did help the count. So, I mean, it still did what it was supposed to do. But as far as there being other options, I know that you can take the vitamins and just see if you get pregnant naturally. I would recommend, if you're going to do the vitamins to help his count, maybe follow up with Clomid urine, so you're trying both sides. Otherwise, even IUIs, I almost don't even believe in them now, just to be honest, and it's just my personal opinion, because they didn't work for us, and I don't know if the injectable IUI would have worked, because unfortunately, we're kind of out of time and we just need to hurry up and get pregnant pretty much. But I mean, it's definitely personal preference. I would definitely try to exhaust all the options before going as extreme as IVF. But for me, if we end up having more kids and we only get one child this next time and we had to do the process all over again, I probably would just go straight to IVF, because IUIs are just very tiring and we didn't have really a good experience doing them either. So I mean, there's options, but it's definitely something that you have to talk to your reproductive endocrinologist about, just to see what's right for you. Amelia asked, does IVF require you to take birth control, and why? From what I've read, most people have had to take birth control before IVF cycles, and that's just from what I've read. I haven't actually taken it yet, so I'm not 100% sure. Our class isn't for 1 week from today. Pretty much they say that taking the birth control actually helps eliminate or avoid cysts that can happen during the IVF process. And from what I understand, it's a pretty standard procedure. Brianna asked, are there any particular scriptures or verses that you look to for when you're feeling down and stressed about this journey? Very, very, very good question. I don't necessarily think I look towards a specific scripture. The only thing that I can say that I 100% do is there's one saying that I've heard for a lot of my time growing up. Whenever I face something hard, I've always been told by different people, always the same thing, and it's that God will never give you more than you can handle. And I wholeheartedly 100% believe that. So that makes me feel a lot better that the Lord knows that Brian and I are capable of going through one of the hardest things possible. And I kind of just take comfort in knowing that, and I just kind of feel a little bit blessed that I'm able to realize that I'm not going to be given more than I can handle. So that's kind of the only thing that I really look towards. Otherwise, there's times when I'm feeling down that I open the Bible app on my phone and read some scriptures from there. Definitely just trying to make sure that I don't lose sight of what this is all for, that eventually, hopefully, we will get the most amazing gift that the Lord can give you. Cool Fam asked, do our daughters know that we're trying for a baby? And I honestly don't know this question. We do talk about it, but I feel like they're kind of oblivious to what we talk about anyways. Honestly, I'm not going to sit them down and say, just so you guys know, we are trying to give you guys a sibling, because again, I'm not sure that either of them really understands the concept of time. And if we had told them from day one, well, it's now 2 years later, and I don't want them to get overly excited and then it not happen right away. So pretty much, no, we're not saying it, but I know that we do talk about it in front of them, just not all the time. There's times that we've had to discuss it really quick. So we're not planning on telling them, but if our oldest comes to us and asks if we are, I wouldn't lie. I would tell her yes, but that it's taking a while and that God will give us one whenever he's ready. Angelina, also a very beautiful name, says, if I have no success with IVF, how long will we keep trying? Pretty much, quick answer to this one, if we are not pregnant by the window that I have in my head of the deadline to get pregnant, we will stop trying. At this point, I can't tell you guys that window, because if I told you guys the window, you probably would be able to pinpoint exactly when the deployment is, and I just am not allowed to say anything like that. So we will keep trying until the very last time that we can. We just want to make sure that if I do conceive, it will be at a time that he will be able to be home for the birth and for a little while afterwards. Amy asked, if IVF gives me multiples, would I stop working, continue my routine, or move home to get help from my mom? Oh, I would love to have my mom close if we have more children. Unfortunately, no, I would not move home. And by multiples, I'm not sure if you mean like 1, 2, or more than that. If we were to have 1 to 2, I definitely wouldn't stop working. I worked really hard to get my certification, and I worked hard to get the position that I'm currently in. And I really don't want to stop working. However, there is an option for me to work from home if I would like to do so. Changing the specialty that I work in now, I could do that. It's just going to depend though, because working from home, I actually would have to work and I couldn't chase kids all day. If I had triplets or more, which that scares me because of the health aspect of it. If I did, I most likely would not work, because that would be really stressful for me to have all these babies being cared for by someone else. And I feel like I would need to be around them, because I know that the more you have, the more premature they're going to be, the more health problems that they could have. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't move home though under any circumstances. We have a life here in Iowa. My mom can come here and I can visit her. But yeah, I do have Brian's family here if I ever needed something. I have friends here, and I have my biological dad also, and stepmom moved here. So yeah, I do have options that don't include me going home, but if I could move my mom here, I absolutely would. Kelly asked, what lipstick are you always wearing? And not this one. You guys normally see me in like, I'm assuming she means like the nude colored one. And it's actually two different ones, but they are very similar in color. I always wear the Kat Von D Bow and Arrow lip liner with the liquid lipstick Bow and Arrow that matches it, or I will wear the Bow and Arrow lip liner with the NYX liquid lip in the shade Abu Dhabi or number 60, same difference. I have, no kidding, probably 8 tubes of the NYX one, and I have a few tubes of the Bow and Arrow. That's my favorite kind of light brown nude lip, so that's what I generally am wearing in my videos. A family asked, how many embryos are we planning on transferring? This is kind of tricky because honestly, looking at everything, I prefer to transfer 2 embryos. And that's partly because we're not going to be doing the genetic testing, because it really doesn't really make sense for us, I guess. It just doesn't make sense for us, and I know that's kind of risky, but we've talked about it and we're kind of at peace with that decision. So really, I would like to transfer 2, and it's something that we're going to have to ask our reproductive endocrinologist about, because I know that they are very hesitant to transfer 2, especially if they are PGS tested, because of the risk of multiples and it being a high-risk pregnancy. Hopefully, we can transfer 2 unless there's a reason why he honestly thinks we should not. Yeah, so that's our plan right now. I won't actually know until we get to that point and can ask him, but I will let you guys know. Allison asked, how many kids do we want? I would love 4 kids total, so hopefully we can have 2 more kids. I'd be fine with 1 more, but if I could choose, I would definitely have 2 more. My husband definitely agrees with me. We would love to have 4 in total. Bex asked me, after 2 years of trying, how do I stay positive? It's going on a year for us, and I find myself being down sometimes. I'm curious if you have any advice. Staying positive is very difficult sometimes. I feel like I'm generally a very positive person, and that comes with me trusting the Lord and knowing that whatever is His plan for us will happen. Staying positive, definitely the ways that I kind of do it are just, again, focusing on the end result and what we're aiming for, and knowing that it will come, but we have to be patient and wait. And if it's being patient for 2 months or 2 more years, we're just gonna have to be patient and wait for it. I do try to use my channel as a way to stay positive, because a lot of you guys are, and you're so kind. Well, most of you are so kind, and I reread your messages, I reread your comments. I'm just very thankful for those of you that I've met through YouTube who are going through the same thing that I'm going through. So that also helps me stay positive. And then my last question is from Haley. She said, what can I do to make the 2-week wait go quicker? Now, this is kind of a, again, personal preference. For me, here's my suggestion. If you were on a 2-week wait, this is what actually helped me through the deployment with my husband when he was gone for a year. So I kind of used the same logic I did then in the 2-week waits. My main piece of advice is to set up things during the 2-week wait that you can actually look forward to. Say you want to do a movie night with a friend or your husband, set it for Wednesday. So on Monday and Tuesday, you're looking forward to Wednesday. Then make a plan maybe for Friday morning to get your hair done or your nails done, or to try a new cup of coffee somewhere. Just start a new book, literally anything that you can just look forward to. Because once you look forward to things and the time comes, you look back thinking, wow, it went so quick. And that helps me a lot in the deployment. Another thing that I can suggest for those of you who are like me and love movies, TV shows, whatever, definitely start a new series in the 2-week wait if you were able to do so. I find that starting a new TV series is very interesting to me because I love different kinds of TV shows. If you watch an episode each night in the 2-week wait, that's 14 episodes. However, on the weekends, I will try to add more episodes in so that I am starting the first episode, the beginning of the 2-week wait, and ending it the night before our pregnancy test. So those are just my kind of ideas. There's definitely stuff that you can look up in Google. If you head over to Elena Kane's channel, she had a video on what to do in the 2-week wait to pass time, and I will also link that down below for you guys. So that's all for this Q&A, you guys. Thank you so much to those of you who submitted questions. I love interacting with you guys and meeting those of you and listening to your stories. There's so many people. I just thought infertility was so small and that I was like weird or something. I'm just very thankful that there's those of you out there who are going through what I'm going through, and I can learn from you, and hopefully you can learn from me. If you are brand new to this channel and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the button down below. I'll be posting quite a bit more in my IVF series. Obviously, we have a long ways to go, but that's all for now, you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Side note, Kylie Jenner announced her baby's name today on Instagram, Stormy. How cute is that? I actually have met a Stormy before in my life. When I was in high school, I had a friend whose mom's name was Stormy, and I always thought that was like such a cool, different name. Definitely, I was worried it was going to be some kind of a crazy name. Like, I don't even know. But what do you guys think of the name? Let me know down below in the comments.